We're three boys, just like any other three kids. We do boy things, fight and make fun of each other and pick on each other and play with the neighborhood kids, like like kids do. Uh, but I don't know, 5 or 6 years old, or when Rob was, we know, something wrong with him. We used to make fun of. What's wrong with you? It wasn't anything wrong. It's just that his path was diverging from like my path and my other brother's path, and so we realized he's got something special going on. He's like, I don't want to say he's holy or too holy, but there was something spiritual about him, and I don't know if you heard. He used to like to play priest a lot. Okay, what little kid ever plays priest, right? It's like, okay, so that was yesterday on the balcony after he gave a speech. Even before this, when he first came out, when I first saw like his as he crossed over the threshold of the balcony, and I saw his forehead and then his eyes, and it was like almost brought me to tears seeing him up there. And then when you look at this, it's like, it's my baby brother. He's the Pope, and he's waving to the crowd. Um, and then the friendly wave. Yeah, it's like, hey, yeah, that's my brother. Um, at this point, I'd run up there and give him a high five because he's got his hand in the air. But he's the Pope, so I probably try to behave myself a little bit. And bright up there. We had to get a new shed because Ian wrecked our other shed. It's what God wanted. I'll do the best I can. And the same goes with this. I think he'll find um, great joy in it, although it might be hard to be Pope and there's a lot of responsibility. He can handle it. He's got that personality. What would I tell him? I'd say, forgive me of all my sins right now. No, I don't know. It'd probably be more me rather than telling him things. Would be asking him like, so, what do you think about? What are you gonna do about gay marriage? What are you gonna do about like I'm married to a non-Catholic? What about stuff like that? Do you see an opening to bless this kind of marriage? Things that affect people like me. I guess the most negative possibility or thought in my mind about this whole thing is, how will it change our family relationship? Will we be able to still talk to him regularly like brothers do? Or is he going to be too busy to talk to us? I don't expect we'll ever see him come down to the house again. Um, if he comes to the States, he won't come here. We'll have to go to wherever he's at and hope to get close enough to him. I'm going to call him Rob. Maybe I'll try to accost him and hug him, and maybe they'll frown on that too. I don't know what kind of nonsense they do, but yeah, he'll always be Rob to me. In the back of my mind, yeah, he's Pope. He's Pope Leo. Um, but he's still Rob. I can't do that. I can't turn that switch. It's like, no, he's Pope Leo to the world. To me, he's my little brother Rob. So That's what I will continue to call him and refer to him as. Okay. Mom and Dad, yeah, that would have shook them to the core. They'd be super overjoyed, super excited. There's no telling. I just think that it might be too much for him, news like that. Because, again, he's my little brother, but that's their little baby, you know. Oh my God, he's the Pope now. I'd go crazy if that was my kid, you know. It's spectacular. It's spectacular. It's incredible. There's no other way to describe it. So, being as religious as they were, yeah, they'd be over the top.
I suppose the most interesting thing is, I think from the time he was 5 or 6 years old, he knew this was his fate. Not that he would be a pope, that he would be a priest. He knew that from a very young age, and his idea never faltered all through grammar school, high school, college. He would take our mom's ironing board, cover it over with a tablecloth, and we would go to Mass. And I don't mean to be disrespectful, but if you remember an old-fashioned candy called Necco, those were the communion wafers. In my opinion, and he may be different than I think, is you will see kind of a second Pope Francis. I think he'll kind of follow in Pope Francis's footsteps in terms of some of the policies and the way he conducts himself. I think that's why I'm saying he's going to follow in Pope Francis's footsteps, because he knows there are the downtrodden. He knows there are the poor. He knows there are the disenfranchised, the people who don't have a voice. And so I think he will be looking out for that, because that's where he spent so many years, with those people who he worked with, and knows what their needs may be, and maybe he can do something to help them. Extreme joy, extreme pride, and then I think eventually in would come worry as to how Robert is going to handle this, because it's a heavy weight on his shoulders. He's got the task of trying to bring the world's Catholics together, because I think we're splitting apart quickly. And maybe he can do something to bring it back. Well, Sox fan is South Side, Cubs fan is North Side. Our mother's family was North Side, and that's where the Cubs came in. Our father was St. Louis Cardinals, so how Rob picked Sox, one only knows, but that's where he was. So I don't know where it came that he was a Cubs fan. So I did want to straighten that out. I'm sure it's important for the country to know that.